Eleanor clutched the worn diary tighter, a cold sweat prickling her skin. The old Victorian mansion creaked and groaned around her, the whispers seemingly emanating from the very walls. She had inherited the house from a distant relative, a woman shrouded in mystery, and the whispers had started the very first night. At first, they were faint, a barely discernible scuttling in the dusty attic above her bedroom. But with each passing night, they grew bolder. Now, they were distinct voices, a chilling chorus of murmurs and giggles that sent shivers down her spine. Driven by a morbid curiosity, Eleanor decided to investigate. The attic door was locked, rusted shut by neglect. Undeterred, she used a crowbar she found in the basement, the metallic scrape echoing ominously in the silent house. As the door groaned open, revealing a suffocating darkness within, a wave of icy air washed over her, a shaft of moonlight peeked through a dusty window, illuminating a chaotic jumble of forgotten furniture and belongings. Eleanor coughed, stirring up a plume of dust motes that danced in the pale light. Her heart hammered in her chest as she crept deeper, the whispers intensifying with each step. Then, she saw them. Two figures huddled in a corner, shrouded in shadows. Two men, their faces obscured by darkness, their bodies unnaturally still. A scream died in her throat as the air crackled with a strange energy. The figures twitched, their heads snapping upwards in unison. "You shouldn't be here," one of the men rasped, his voice a chilling sibilant whisper. Despite the darkness, Eleanor felt malevolent eyes boring into her. Fear choked her, her breath coming in ragged gasps. "Who are you? What do you want?" she stammered, her voice barely a squeak. The other figure tilted its head, a skeletal hand reaching out from the shadows. As it brushed past the moonlight, Eleanor caught a glimpse of bone-white skin stretched taut over a skeletal frame. A scream ripped from her throat this time, but it was too late. The spectral hand clamped onto her wrist, impossibly cold. A surge of dark energy flowed through her, draining her strength. Visions flooded her mind, a ritual gone wrong, two men trapped between life and death, their spirits bound to the house by an ancient curse. The whispers intensified, forming words, a chilling mantra: feed the hunger, appease the darkness. Eleanor felt a primal terror grip her, a sense of being observed by unseen eyes. Suddenly, the attic door slammed shut with a bang. Both figures vanished, the whispers falling silent. Eleanor slumped against the wall, gasping for breath. Her ordeal had aged her 10 years in a matter of minutes. The diary, clutched tightly in her hand, felt heavier somehow, imbued with a dark power. Driven by a newfound determination, Eleanor delved into the diary. It belonged to her relative, a woman named Amelia, who had dabbled in the occult. The entry spoke of a forbidden ritual meant to grant immortality, a ritual involving the sacrifice of a living soul. The ritual had failed, trapping Amelia's assistants. The men she saw, in the spirit realm, days turned into weeks. The whispers returned, growing more frantic. Sleep became a luxury Eleanor couldn't afford. The house pressed in on her, its shadows playing tricks on her mind. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of decay. One night, fueled by desperation and Amelia's cryptic notes, a horrifying truth dawned on Eleanor. The sacrifice wasn't meant to grant Amelia immortality, it was meant to appease a darkness lurking within the house, an entity feeding off the suffering of trapped souls. With trembling hands, she set a plan in motion. Using Amelia's instructions and the meager resources she could find, she began a counter-ritual, its purpose to sever the spirit's connection to the house and banish the entity. The night of the ritual, a storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil within the house. Armed with herbs, candles, and Amelia's incantation scrawled on a scrap of parchment, Eleanor stood in the center of the attic. As she chanted, the whispers turned into screams, the house groaning in protest, the air crackled with unseen energy. The spectral figures materialized in the flickering candlelight, their skeletal forms writhing in agony. They lunged at Eleanor, drawn by a primal hunger, but the ritual took hold. A blinding light erupted, forcing the figures back. The screams became deafening, then abruptly cut off. An eerie silence descended upon the attic. Eleanor was exhausted, collapsed on the dusty floor. With a final creak, the attic door opened, revealing the first light of dawn, and is still safe and alive. Now the storm has passed. The house still exists, the whispers disappeared forever.